Hello and welcome back to The Broken Doll, and today I come to you with these two lovely 1950 dolls here. These are the Tiny Tier dolls. And I brought this one up yesterday and I dressed her, this one right here. I found her in a box and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I got to get her on the shelf in my doll room because I have another Tiny Tiers here that needs a friend. And this one here, my mother got from many years ago from the Salvation Army or someplace. It was a thrift store, and she bought it for $12 back. Oh, she's been gone like 20. My mother's passed away a little over 20 years ago. So 21 years, I think it's been now. Calculating in my head. So she got it even before that. So I'll safely say, let's say 25 years ago, she bought this this Tiny Tiers here. This one was given to me here by Janet. It came in a box. So I thought, well, these two have to meet and become friends. They're made by the American Character Company in the 1950s. You could make them cry, and by squeezing their bellies and whatnot. They have their eyes closed. This one seems to be a little bit on the stuck side. I've been working with her, trying to get her to close her eyes from the outside. I don't want to pop off her head because she does have a tube that's running down inside. These are a little bit on the later side. There were earlier ones than these two here, which had rubber bodies. Their hands were pointed downward, where these are more to the side, like as if they could clap their hands together. But they're still quite nice. If you're looking at starting a doll collection and you're looking at something that maybe you would like to start, like, you don't want to put a lot of money into, these are perfect still to find to this very day, and they're not overly expensive. Mind you, putting this into mind after I've said that, though, I have not checked the market on Tiny Tiers in a little while, but the last time I did, they still weren't going for a high volume. Now, the bigger the doll, the more you're going to pay, and the better the doll, better condition the doll is, of course you're going to pay more, especially if you can get them in original clothing and with their whole layette set and everything. This was new to the market, these types of dolls that had the rubber bodies. Mine don't have the rubber bodies. They're more in the vinyl. There was even a later set of Tiny Tiers that came out. I will be showing a picture of them in a few seconds here to you, that came out just as well. They were tinier, much tinier, but did the same idea with, you could make them cry their tears out, baby tears coming down their face. I actually remember advertisements for Tiny Tiers. Though I was born in the early 60s, I do remember Tiny Tier advertisements coming out. Sometimes, to realize between the United States and Canada, we were behind sometimes, not all, in all things, but sometimes in the toy industry, we would be behind the United States when we got things in. Even though we're so close, we didn't get everything. Because I live closer to the Detroit border, I could see advertisements for those dolls. But it doesn't mean they came to Canada right away. So we more or less had to wait for it to come. So for us to get them, might have been a year or so later, or could have been right at the time that they were producing them, we got them. A lot of things I found for myself, I got a little bit on the later side. I saw them later. Not everything. Barbie was right there, out there, no problem. It just depends on distribution and where you were in Canada at the time, the country. The further north, you may not have got all this all at once, or even seen this at all. Those advertisements may not have been, back in those days, you may not even seen them on television. I saw Detroit, I want to say it was WKBD or something like that it was, for advertisements. For some of you out there, you might remember back in the 60s was Bill Kennedy at the show. We could see him. But not every advertisement came across to us, and the further north you went, the less you got to see. You were more driven by all Canadian type news back in that day. Not so much today, but I'm going back, 50 something, 60 years ago. So I'm just trying to take you back to that day, how things were. I mean, children were the remote control for the TV. We were still using ears, and same a lot of places in the United States were too, and maybe other parts of the country. We can all relate to this. We were using the little rabbit ears to bring in stations, So I mean, we weren't the only ones doing that. A lot of people were, but Anyhow, it just all depends where you were located. You might have been able to have seen this. I did. I remember seeing Tiny Tears being advertised, and I wanted one. So this might have been more the 1960 version that you're seeing here, more the vinyl version of it. The first ones that came out were rubber, made with the bodies were made out of rubber so that you could bathe your baby. Plastic heads were coming out now. Plastic was being used more and more in the doll world here. And she had a little bow for her head too. Here it is. I forgot. I took it off to wipe her head. She was a little bit on the dusty side, being up on my shelf in my room there. There we go. The thing is that they're beautiful dolls. They're still well within a range that you could afford them still. You know, this, and at this size, you know, you can find them quite readily on eBay, Ruby Lane, Etsy. You know, now I know in the States you can buy from McCarty. You probably even get them cheaper. If you want to go even cheaper than that, try yard sales, estate sales. You never know what you can find at those estate sales. And you might get a nice box of dolls, and in there might be one of those that might pop out and surprise you. But anyhow, they're wonderful dolls for your doll shelf. They're also show a very particular time of the 1950s, 60s. I would think this one more is showing the 1950s. She has the skull cap and everything. This one here, for me, I'm going to say more 1960s. I would say late 50s for this one. So let's take a look at my book, and let's see what my book has to say about these beautiful little dolls. So let's see. What do we have here? I have a picture here. This is my book called... Oh, let me get this off. Okay. This is called Modern... You know, having a book library is really great to have. I'm building mine up slowly. I want to go back to this place where I bought some of my doll books and see what else he has. That's something I'm going to do in the next little while here, and just see what is available to me and what else, other books that he might have in dolls. But anyways, having a book library is really helpful. I mean, you can go on the computer just as well, but there's something about having the books right there. You know, it's great, you know. But anyways, here's the one right here, right down in this corner right here. You can see her. Oh, I'm going to get the light. There's like a light shining on her. It says, American character, 13 and a half, baby, Tiny Tears. Hard plastic head, rubber body, arms and legs, molded hair, hands open and in a down position. Blue sleep eyelashes, open mouth, nurser, pierced nostrils, tear ducts inside, edge of eyes. And then there's her patent number. Now, back in the day when this book was being made, she went for $8 to $12. This book goes back quite a few years, though. Let's just remember that. Let's see if I can find a year on it here. This book goes back to 1973, okay? $8 to $12. I don't think she's went up a lot more than that. I could be wrong. You might say, Tammy, get looking on Etsy or on here. They go for more. So now we're going to look over here at this picture right here. This is American character, 15-inch Tiny Tears, vinyl body, arms, legs, hard plastic head with rubber inset scalp wig. That's what mine has. She has, whoops, I got a pin there. There's her rubber scalp. I don't know if you can see that, but she has a rubber scalp up there. Okay. Blue sleep eyelashes, open nurser mouth, marks American character, and there's all the rest about her on there. There's 1959, which is what I thought. She was a little bit later. $12. I didn't know I was correct. I didn't read these yet. I just saw the pictures. Okay, now to see the newer ones that came out, here's a picture of the newer ones right here. I'm going to show you another picture. Oh no, I closed it up. That's okay. But there they are right here. These were a lot tinier. There were this is a 17-inch one. New Tiny Tears. All vinyl with rooted red hair, blue sleep eyes, lashes, open mouth nurser, right hand with thumb and index finger extended. Left hand open and facing body. And she's 1964. Now there are two others that I saw here. Maybe I can find them really quick in my other book here. See, I have my book sitting right there. Here's my books right here. She's in this book here called 20th Century Dolls. And like I said, it's really great to have a bunch of books that help you out. And like I say, you can go on the computer, but I love the smell of paper and looking through books. There's just something, I don't want to lose that ability to, you know, having books near me all the time. H.I. Tiny Tears, 75 and 77. Let's look at 75. I think that's where I saw her. Was that 75, 96, 84. There we go. There they are. Okay, I was right. Oh, let's see if I can get this to show up in the book. There they are right there. These little tinier ones right there. There's a whole slew of them right there, Tiny Tears. There's another picture of Tiny Tears. But these little ones down here were 8.5 to 12 inches. Okay. Oh, those ones right there. They're 8.5 to 12 inches. New Tiny Tears, all vinyl, rooted hair, blue sleep eyes, drinking wet features on tear openings and solid molded plastic lashes. 8.5 size is marked 1964 American character on the head. So there you go when it comes to these Tiny Tear dolls. They're wonderfully made. And if they've lasted this long, now they have, back in their day, they were very well put together. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little session about the Tiny Tears doll. Leave me a comment down below and a thumbs up, and tell me if you've got some Tiny Tears in your collection as well. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll be talking to you again really soon. Bye-bye.